Skywatch 12 weather with meteorologist Jamie Singleton.
And welcome back to Rise and Shine, everybody. Post-election, finally we can at least all agree, no matter who you voted for, that the ads are over with. We no longer have to listen to the commercials. So there's a victory there, right? And there's a victory for some of you who were waiting on some snow, at least some flurries anyway. We've been calling for this since last week, and we have to zoom you in on the radar picture. I know the colors look a little bit funky. We're showing you red, which normally would mean something severe, but what happens in the winter time especially is that the National Weather Service will take the sensitivity of the radar down and give us a different color scale. So we're in what's called clear air mode so that we can see ice crystals better. And we've got this upper level energy that's spinning right overhead. This is not in any way a storm system to get excited about. It's not even a formidable storm system for our area, but there are some snowflakes that are returning here on the radar picture from Timberlake in the Lynchburg, Central Virginia, Amherst County up to Nelson County, and I can bet it's probably snowing lightly on Wintergreen Mountain at the moment. Franklin County sitting right here, just a couple of clouds around, but if you look at the radar in motion, it would appear that some of this activity is trying to drift in from the north and from the east. And so throughout the day today on our Wednesday, a bit blustery out there, periodic bouts of clouds and maybe some sprinkles and or snow showers or snow flurries. Nothing big, but just enough to maybe where you look out the window and say it's spitting a little snow outside today. That's all in response of this upper level low, and you can clearly see it on our satellite picture. Here's Virginia. Here's the counterclockwise rotation as it goes from the east coast of Virginia. It gets a little bit more in the way of moisture to our north. That's where the bigger storm system is, and unfortunately another fairly strong low pressure system, not on the order of Sandy, of course, but nor'easter moving up that area. It's the upper level jet stream that's cranking out and squeezing out any moisture it can. There's not a lot of it out there. It's cold, but we're just trying like a sponge to see some drops of moisture come out of that. That would come out in the form of ice crystals today, especially early this morning, and giving us a little bit of sunshine, and where you see the darker areas and cloudier areas, seeing some snow falling out of that. And you can see on the wider picture, here's Virginia at the bottom of the screen, and Washington, D.C. up toward where, well, it's like my sister, maybe my little sissy here getting some snow shower activity, and Tyler and Alex and George and my extended family there going into my sister's family, and then going up the northeast coast here, you can start to see this take effect. Now this is bad news for them because any rain or wind or any type of storminess on top of what they already have had, and you can bet there's some wind in this as well, although it's not quite as strong, but still 40 to 50 mile an hour winds right along the coast as the main part of the system is off to the east, and look at all that moisture starting to form offshore. So that's the thinking. And even a second batch of upper level energy back here across the mountains of western North Carolina from Asheville into Charlotte, extending across the Smokies and into the Ohio Valley. So it's all kind of rotating around. It never came together like it did last week with the superstorm, but we still are dealing with kind of leftover pieces of it way above our head, still enough to get some clouds going and a few snow showers going today. That's going to hold temperatures down just a bit. Here's a closer inspection, and again, if your plans will take you up the interstate, up toward 81, Botetourt County, southern Shenandoah Valley, and again, I think even in the Franklin County, we could see a couple of sprinkles and or flurries out there this morning. Most of the coverage is light, not going to stick to the ground, but some of the colder services to the north will have to worry about maybe some accumulations on the bridges. That's talking about D.C. north into the boroughs of Pennsylvania. Into some showers in eastern North Carolina as well. And there's again a look at the western mountains of North Carolina, which always this time of the year, when I went to school down at UNC Asheville, this is the time of the year where they would start already decorating for Christmas around the Biltmore. And of course you hop over the Tennessee state line there and you get to see the parade of lights starting early December. And of course here locally in Franklin County, we will be kicking off our Come Home to a Franklin County Christmas not too long from now. So lots going on there. Here's a satellite picture, and again, once again, this isn't Sandy, this is another storm system. And you can, we've already talked about the specifics of where the moisture is, but you can see how the upper low is right here, and the main part of the energy is now off the coast. So if we had this farther west, we'd be talking about a formidable system and a very strong system for the East Coast. Luckily, most of that is off to the east. This does indicate to me that we are in for an active winter, at least if this pattern continues, because we seem to be now on the weekly cycle of getting these lows that are coming not quite out of the Gulf, but near the Gulf, and then riding up the coast to some point. And the exact track, of course, always is a bit of a challenge for us forecasters, but the Gulf is active, the jet stream is active, the cold air is in place each time with this system. We had the cold air in place of Sally, we have the cold air in place of this one, even though we're just getting the flurries out of this one. Watch out for the next one. Could come in a week or two. And of course, as we get closer to Christmas and into the new year, if the pattern stays the same, we're in for a rough winter, it looks like, or at least a normal winter, which would yield about a normal winter between 18 and 22 inches of snow over the course of the winter season. That would include December, January, and February. Okay, for our Wednesday today, not quite getting the 50. I think the clouds will hold us down below that. 45 Boones Mill, 46 Rocky Mount, upper 40s for Ferrum, 44 in Callaway. And this will depend heavily on where those breaks of sunshine develop. If you do get a break of sun in between the cloudiness, we could sneak a 51 in somewhere in here. More than likely toward the Snow Creek area, that will happen. 47 for Hughes, 46 in Pinhook, and 45 along the shores of Smith Mountain Lake. So a bit chilly along the shores of the lakefront. That includes Philpott Lake as well. Jetstream Energy shows this huge trough that's carved out and formed an upper level low. And again, it's these little spokes of energy. The color is spin in the upper atmosphere. And as you move that in, you basically force the air upward and you force the moisture to fall out of that air. So as each one of these rotates around, that's what's gave us the snow in Asheville, North Carolina this morning. We have one over D.C. right now. You can see that spinning around, and then it eventually moves off to the north and then out of our hair by the time we go into the weekend. And so that's the good news. If you do have any weekend plans, we put this map into motion. You can see all the calm weather where the jet stream is rising. This is all sunshine, and this, my friend, is 60-degree temperatures that we're talking about with some sunshine around. So we've got the cold stuff in place today, just cold enough for those flurries, but if you put this in motion and you look very carefully, look at the we're not going to get the heart of it, but the warmer weather is out here across Texas, and it does look like it'll be moving in just in time for the weekend. Precipitation going to be very light across the area and spotty as you see it today, but look how quickly it fizzles away. The main system hits the northeast rather hard, so our prayers go out to them. This kind of just adds insult to injury. Not the strongest of storms they've had, but considering Sandy, again, it's not what they need. And then for our area, high pressure builds in with plenty of sunshine going into the weekend. So here's how it looks on my 5-day forecast today, kind of overcast. Watching the snowflake thrown in from time to time in Franklin County. School kids, if you're up watching and you see it out your window, don't get too excited. School system, if you're watching, don't get too excited. It's just going to be kind of the hit or miss thing. I'll be watching it all day on Facebook for you, giving you updates there. Temperatures eventually up to 47, so eventually at some point when we get that moisture, it may just be rain sprinkles at the best. Only a 20% coverage of that too, so not a widespread thing there. 34 tonight, clearing out, and then windy for Thursday because again we have a system that's exiting the area. As high pressure moves in, you have to create wind, and it won't be quite as strong as what we had last time, but still will be blowing at 15 to 25 miles an hour, so that will add a bit of a bite to the air, especially first thing during the day. But high temperatures make it up to 56 for the afternoon. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, hey, how about this? We get some reward from dealing with all the cold. And I think Mr. Shoemaker here is a fan of the relief from the cold there, and the relief from a lot of the folks out there that are having to use the fireplaces and their furnaces already. 64 Friday, 67 Saturday, 70 for Sunday, and a lot of festivals and activities going on. It looks warm as we go into the upcoming weekend. Overnight low temperatures will still be chilly, but you would expect that this time of the year, but a very calm end to the week. And again, today we just have kind of a nuisance system that we're looking at with some cool clouds and some flurries this morning and some wind tomorrow, and then a nice warming trend into the rest of the week. So that's your complete Franklin County forecast. You'll only see it right here on Cable 12, and we'll be right back with more Rise and Shine. We've got Parks and Rec in town after this.